Yo, tune in, we're here to spit, talking football, we don't quit. From kickoff to the final play, crack and bruise, we're here all day. Three cats with a passion for the game, giving you the scoop, not just the fame. Every episode, new beer to explore, while we break down the score. So lean in, we're your weekly guide to the field where legends reside. We're the cold one, we'll ride on this football journey side by side. It's about football, but barely weekly. Cheers, we're clearly gonna talk those game day hits with a beer in hand, that's it. From the snap to the end zone dance, we cover it all. Give you that chance to laugh, learn, and sip with class. Discussing tactics, not just the grass. Draft picks, trades, and all the stats. We're here to chat, to break through the facts. Each brew we taste, we'll share our view on plays, players, and what's true. So sit back, enjoy the ride. We'll keep it real, no need to hide. With football talk and beer in sight, we're here to make your night. It's about football, but barely weekly. Cheers, we're clearly gonna talk those game day hits with a beer in hand, that's it. We'll dissect each quarter's tale with a cold one without fail. So join us, let's have some fun. Football and beer, second to none.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of the Bailey Football Podcast. It's a podcast about football, but barely.
Sure.
Join me, as always, is my good friend and known Patriots fan. It's Kerry Dempsey.
I was trying to think of like a better name for myself, but it's like the worst time of the season for football, so like I couldn't even think of a more catchy name. Kind of disappointing.
Yeah, and of course, I'm Manja, your host this evening for the Bailey Football Podcast. It's great to be here again with my very good friend Kerry Dempsey, who I have not seen in ages because he refuses to come visit me. But
I refuse.
Refuses. It's ridiculous. So how are you doing, buddy?
Doing solid. It's summer. It's starting to get really warm outside. It's been like the 90s lately. You know, you walk outside, immediately start sweating. Just the Florida life right there.
Weren't you guys complaining about it being too cold at like 75?
Yeah, and then like, you know, Florida, like a week later, it changes 95 degrees. It's crazy.
Alrighty.
Probably nicer up there.
It's really nice right now, actually.
Perfect golf weather for you, Zach.
It is pretty nice golf weather. Alrighty. Before we get into tonight's topics of conversation, are you doing okay?
I do not like this beer.
Let's talk about what we're drinking tonight. Gary, what do you got? You've been making faces at me all pre-show.
All right, so I've never been a huge peanut butter guy. I'm not really a peanut butter fan. You know, I used to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich as a kid, and I would take out the peanut butter and just have a jelly sandwich.
That's insane to me.
So that lets me getting a PB&J mixtape from the XUL Beer Company. And let me tell you, it is very strong in the peanut butter. It does taste like a PB&J, but it just does not go down well. This is one of my least favorite beers I've had on this podcast. But if you love PB&J more on the peanut butter side, this might be for you, but it's just not my thing. It's not as bad as the pickle beer, but I'm not a huge fan of it.
That sounds so good. I'm not even going to.
Are you a big peanut butter guy, Zach?
Dude, let me tell you what I've been into recently. All right?
Peanut butter and celery.
No. Recently, when I don't have to go in at like the crack ass of dawn to work and I go in at like 9 or something like that, I'll wake up at 7 and make myself a peanut butter and banana smoothie, and it is the best part of every day.
Interesting.
I love peanut butter. And peanut butter and banana is the best, it's the best smoothie ever.
I've always tried to get into smoothies. There's never been, I don't know, just can't get that perfect mix of what I want in there. Whether it's like bananas,
peanut butter and banana.
Strawberries. But I just don't like peanut butter in that way. It just doesn't hit the same. I feel like I've had like a peanut butter porter that like hasn't been that bad, but for some reason just the mix with the jelly in this one is just not it. But it's a very unique flavor.
Yeah, there was a peanut butter and jelly mead
Interesting.
we had at I think it was at the place down in St. Augustine when we were on our anniversary trip.
Me, I
That
didn't
was
know.
very, very kind of nuts in terms of like the flavor profile because it did taste like jelly and peanut butter, but it was kind of crazy.
I didn't know meads like came in a bunch of different flavors. I thought it was pretty like.
Oh
simple
yeah,
what it does.
comes in all kinds of flavors. Man.
So I would have thought it was just like the basic, like kind of like wine, just in that way. But
Yeah, no, it comes in all flavors, shapes, and sizes. Big dog.
what's the? Is it Screwball? Like the whiskey or something that's like peanut butter flavored.
Yeah, that's terrible. I hate it.
It's not as bad as this though. I'll give it that.
I can't stand Screwball, dude. That makes me want to vom.
I feel like I've only had it like once, but anything's better than this.
Best liquor I ever had? Oatmeal cookie moonshine or something like that.
Oatmeal cookie moonshine. That sounds pretty good. Was it like super
It
strong?
just tasted like no, dude. You couldn't even taste it. That was a crazy part. Like you couldn't even taste the alcohol.
Really?
Dude, it just tasted like you were drinking an oatmeal cream pie, and I was like, oh my god.
Even for moonshine.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was like 40%.
I mean, I love a good cream pie, so that might be for me.
All right, Carrie. You know who else loves a good cream pie? Mike Vrabel.
That's true. Real upstanding gentleman. Every week, TMZ drops another crazier story. I don't even know what's going to happen next week. Sex tape. I feel like at some point they're going to have to announce he's the father of that child.
Probably.
Did you see the one? I forget what video game it. Well, there's like a video game clip of him with Russini, like in like one of the super old video game, like when Vrabel was still a player, and she was like a sideline reporter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it's like every week, how low can you go? Let's go lower.
Yeah. I feel like here's the thing. Like obviously Diana Rossini's career is basically over after this. And I think there's a decent reason as to why. Like in terms of journalistic integrity. Sorry, I'm finishing dinner. I got home like 30 minutes ago.
Especially with some of like the stories too, like
yeah,
a lot of the rumors and stuff that like mysterious sources in Tennessee, that type of stuff.
Well, like with the Julio Jones thing. I don't know if you learned about or did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Where it was like she was making this story that like my sources tell me that there's a team willing to trade a first round pick. And so a lot of teams backed out of that knowing like, well, we're not going to give up a first round pick for a 40-year-old Julio Jones. And he ended up going to the Titans for like a third or something like that.
That is a thing you kind of wonder with all these like big personalities, analysts, like when they're getting all these like rumors and sources, how legit are they? Like I know a lot of people say in like the draft when guys like Orvalowski and other ones will like bring up certain players as like, oh, they might sneak in the first round. Is that actually a thing, or are they just building up hype around it?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like with the draft, everything is so nebulous because like a team, like obviously there's going to be a guy that's like the clear cut. Well, most years there's a clear cut like number one overall pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like beyond that, a lot of it is kind of guessing, especially when you get to the mid first round. A lot of it is just kind of like, well, like what are his measurables? What is his production? And how do those things level out? Like, is production everything? Is measurables more important than production? How does he look on tape? How does he look against good players on tape? What does he look like against bad players on tape? Where's the potential at? Because like, I mean, there's like 1,000 examples you can look at of like guys that like were insanely productive and looked great and were like all world coming out of college, and then just ended up just not performing in the pros. I think one of the better examples, like Jeff Okudah, at a cornerback, was just like he was like the best cornerback prospect in like since Jalen Ramsey, and he just didn't do anything.
He's retired now, right? I think
Okudah?
Yeah, I know he was like he bounced around with a couple teams, but
Who might be?
I think he's out.
Um,
I think he's like on the Raiders or somebody like in the last couple years, but
he's on the Houston Texans right now.
that was still around. Interesting. Wouldn't have guessed that.
But he's like 27 and hasn't done anything in the NFL.
Yeah, and he was what, top 10 pick? Like
I believe so. But like, I mean, like the size and measurables and all the intangibles were there. His production in college was insane, but never.
Sometimes it just doesn't translate in that way. Actually, you never said what you're drinking.
Oh yes. So I'm down to 3 total beers in my apartment.
You still need to tell me what beer you want me to either send you the money for or get for you. So
let me text that to you.
Actually,
I'll do that after the show. So today we're, shout out to Ireland. We're drinking a Killian's Irish Red.
I never had one of those.
It's pretty good. I think you'd like it. It's a good red ale.
Is it on the lighter or darker side?
Medium.
Because I feel like most Irish ones are on the darker side, but
that's just because you're thinking of Guinness. But like they have other stuff.
Is it Killian?
But like it's like a medium beer. It's not a light beer, but it's not like I wouldn't consider it a dark beer.
That's fair.
But it's darker than your fancy Boudet Light.
Boudet Light, good stuff right there. I have a good question for Zach right here, which I tweeted earlier today. Which quarterback would you rather have, Jordan Love or Brock Purdy?
Oh, without a doubt, Brock Purdy.
Without a doubt, not even close?
Not even close.
Interesting.
Yeah. I just don't believe in Love.
I really thought Packers were going to go out there and get a better backup quarterback this offseason, especially with Willis left. I would have loved Anthony Richardson going there.
That would have been nice.
Could have sat and flipped him for a pick or something in a year or two. Even, I know you're not a fan of the guy, but Will Levis, somebody like that at least has coached up, might be able to get you a.
Well, Will Levis, at least you guys like Will Levis and Anthony Richardson, the arm talent's there. Right?
Yeah. If
the arm talent's there, but they're stupid. So
but with coaching, and obviously they've shown they can coach. I mean, when Willis went in there, he was not coached well, but he really in Tennessee, but he really got good coaching in Green Bay and turned his career on. Got $25 million a year or whatever it was.
Something like that. Yeah.
Did you see?
He's going to be throwing to
no one.
Hobos, but good. It's good for him. It kind of sucks because most of these guys that end up getting flipped end up going to a decent team.
Yeah, that's
a decent team that's just we're a quarterback away. Miami's about 7 years away from being in contention again.
There's some really bad receiver groups out there, like the Dolphins, the Raiders. It's the Dolphins don't even have a wide receiver 2 on their roster. They maybe have a wide receiver 3.
Malik Washington could be a wide receiver 2.
Chris Bell was a really good pick, but he's going to be out for this year. I think they got him in the 4th from Louisville, the receiver, but he tore his ACL. But I think that was a good
Chris
pick
Bell's solid
for the long run. But yeah, it's going to be a long year, I think, in Miami. But did you see who Green Bay added as their backup quarterback?
No. Who'd they add?
Wait, let me just confirm. Because I thought I sent this to you. One of Zach's all-time favorite quarterbacks. And I'm pretty sure Zach's going to be calling for this guy to start at some point in the Beer League podcast this year. Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, 100% should start. Start immediately. You guys want to win 11 games? Do you want to win 11 games? Tyrod Taylor, you're winning 11 games.
By week 7, Zach's going to be Tyrod Taylor needs to be starting.
Dude, because here's how Jordan Love's going to start, just like he does every year. He's going to throw 7 picks to 3 touchdowns through his first 5 starts, and they're gonna drop 3 games. They're gonna be 2 and 3 through 5 weeks, and it's gonna be if Tyrod Taylor would have started, you guys would have won all 3 of those games.
We know the biggest Tyrod Taylor fan is on this podcast, sadly.
Dude, Tyrod Taylor didn't really get his shot. Okay,
it's true. He did well in Buffalo, man. It's true.
Did really well in Buffalo. He won 2 games in Cleveland and then got hurt, and then Baker showed up, and then he was stabbed in the lung after starting 2-0 for the Chargers.
It's an anti-Tyrod Taylor conspiracy.
I know, it's crazy.
Poor guy. I don't know. I feel like we talked about this last week, but I can't remember. Brendan Sorsby. A lot of people think supplemental drafts can happen. What team do you think should take a chance on him if that happens? What round would you be willing to give up if you're like the Jets, the Cardinals, one of those teams to take him?
I feel like the Jets won't.
They have 3 first-round picks next year too, which is crazy.
Oh, if they have 3 first-round picks next year, they might.
But it's like next year's draft is so good.
It's so solid. Yeah, that's the only problem. It's like,
and especially if, let's say, Sorsby does work out, like the talent besides quarterbacks next year is insane, and a lot of teams are going to want quarterbacks. So, like, if they do find that quarterback, they're going to find there's so many good tackles, cornerbacks.
Well, and going into the year where you're adding some talent next season, you're getting a guy that has 1 year of NFL experience under his belt versus a fresh-faced rookie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could definitely see one of these teams spending like a second-round pick on him.
What does Arizona look like draft pick-wise next year?
I think
because if they have 3 first-round picks, it would not shock me if Sorsby went to the Jets.
I think they just have their normal, so like first, second, third. So which means if you give up
your Jets.
If you give up your second, then you'd lose your second next year. But, I mean, the Browns possibly. There's a couple teams I think that could be just kind of how high would they give up for him.
Yeah.
And especially, like, he's – like, the rookie training camp's, like, happening, so he's going to be, like, a bit behind anyway. Because I think that drafts in, like, June or July.
Uh-huh.
So, I don't know, but that'll be interesting to see if that happens or not.
Who's their starting quarterback right now?
What team?
The Jets?
It is Geno Smith with Cade Klubnik, QB2. He's supposed to look good early on, but we'll see how that goes.
I don't know if Geno's got anything left in the tank.
I feel like they're just tanked because they have so many picks next year. Like they're just tanking for next year.
Maybe. Whose picks do they have?
Let's see.
They have the Cowboys, right?
Yeah. For Williams,
Cowboys and
the Colts.
And the Colts.
So the Colts will probably be mid-tier, I would think. Cowboys mid-tier. And Jets probably will be like top 5 at least, I would think.
Top 5 pick, you mean?
Yeah. So big year for the Jets next. I think.
But like. I think maybe you go with Sorsby in the supplemental. I actually like that plan.
In the first or like a second?
Well, you got the problem with not taking him in the first. It gives a team like Arizona a chance to take him.
I just don't know. Is it worth taking him with first of your Arizona with how good the draft is next year? Like when you could get, even if you're not looking for a quarterback, if you could get like Jeremiah Smith next year as Arizona, like somebody like that, is it worth it?
I don't know.
It's a very interesting. That's why I'm like interested to see it happen because that's going to be especially. I mean, he also has all the off the field issues with the gambling, which I don't know how big of a detractor that's going to be for NFL teams too. But
yeah, is there a chance he could be like arrested by the FBI? Because I know they're starting to look into sports gambling.
I don't think so. Just banned from NCAA.
Gotcha.
Let's see what happens. Should be interesting. Well, do you want to do the game first or our main segment?
Let's do the game.
Let's do it.
All right, Carrie. I want you to say easy, medium, or hard.
All right. We like it hard.
Like it hard? Okay. Give me 1 second. All right. So we're going to go hard first. Are you ready for this?
I was born ready, and then I died.
You were born ready, and then you died. I can't find the thing I'm looking for.
I'm just so ready. It's throwing you off.
Give me a second. Sorry. Give me a second. Jesus, where is it?
Wow.
Sorry.
Our rabid 7 listeners right now are just.
All right. Okay. I got you. All right. I want you to name me. I'll give you. Here's the thing. I'm going to name a stat in a year. They're all going to be relatively recent. But I'm going to give you a stat in a year, and I want you to tell me who led in that. I want you to tell me who led in that statistical category.
Oh, God.
And I will tell you if there's ties. Okay? So you selected hard first. So.
That's not good.
Interceptions 2019.
Yeah. Let me go like Patrick Peterson.
You can ask questions. So I'll give you, we'll start with 5 questions.
5. All right.
And if you don't guess it after the 5th question, you got to take a drink. Actually, you can ask as many questions as you want, but each question is going to cost you a drink.
From the beginning?
Actually, 3 freebies.
All right. Is it a cornerback or a safety?
It looks like we have a tie, and it's 3 cornerbacks.
I think it's 3 separate guys.
It could be one of the 3.
All right.
It could be one of the 3. Actually, one of them is a safety. Sorry.
Did they play in the AFC? Does any of them play in the AFC?
2 of them played in the AFC.
And are any of them still playing?
I believe
Of the ones that play in the AFC.
Of the guys that played in the AFC?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like he's still playing, but I believe he still is. We've got one guy still playing.
All right. Do I have a certain amount of guesses or?
So you can ask it. So I'm going to basically, if you guess, that counts as a question. You're going to say, is it blank?
So I have to drink for every time I get wrong. All right.
2019.
Oh, I don't think so. No.
Just go with your heart, man.
Aqib Talib.
Aqib Talib is not a correct answer.
Darn.
That'll be a drink.
Patrick Peterson again. He never said yes or no.
That is not a correct answer.
That is not. I never really followed the interception guy. Darrelle Revis. I feel like he wasn't even playing that.
I'm pretty sure he was retired before.
Yeah. I want to get 2 more guesses.
You gotta think about guys that have been like really good at intercepting the ball in like relatively recent years.
How about Harrison Smith?
Harrison Smith is not
Said
a
one
correct
safety.
answer.
No.
Nope. You haven't even guessed a team.
Well, I mean, there's so many teams. Like
you could say, are they in the AFC South? Are they in the AFC West?
I'm thinking about just guess one more and give up on these ones.
Okay. This is a guy. 2 of these guys are definitely guys you should know. 100%.
100%. And I seriously keep wanting to say Sauce, but I know he wasn't playing then. Bro. See, I don't know. I'm just blanking tonight. Yeah, I got nothing.
Just throw out a guess as someone who's been good at picking off
Josh Norman. That's too old. Nope.
Josh Norman. Do you want to know the answers?
I do. I'm gonna be like, why, you idiot?
Stephon Gilmore,
Yeah.
Tre'Davious White, and Anthony Harris.
I would not got Anthony Harris in 6 million.
Yeah, that's the one I didn't think you would know.
Gilmore
And Tre'Davious White.
I don't know, 19's just like that weird range. I was like, it's not like old enough to guys like Sherman and Revis era, but it's like not the modern era. So it's like too much brain power for a Tuesday night.
Alrighty.
All right, how about let's go to easy.
Easy. Okay. Who was the passing touchdowns leader in 2021 in the NFL?
2021. So that was the year after. I'll say Mahomes.
Mahomes is incorrect. That's your first guess or your first question.
Brady.
Mahomes finished 4th on this list.
I
Brady is
proved-
correct.
My boy.
See, I knew that would be easier for you.
That was
That'd
fair.
be easier for you.
All right, medium. Bring it on, man.
Medium. Okay. We're going to stick with the same year,
2021. All right.
2021. Who was the AP Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2021?
2021. So that's 5 years ago. All right. NFC?
Yes, NFC.
NFC South.
NFC South, no.
NFC West.
No, that's your last one.
Well, I mean,
Until you start drinking again.
NFC North.
No, it's not NFC North.
All right, so I'm gonna have to get another drink in a second. All right, so we're in the NFC East.
Mm-hmm.
We got the boys. Who was it? Trayvon Diggs.
It was not Trayvon Diggs.
Did he win Rookie of the Year? No, right? Am I crazy?
I don't know.
All right, we got the Commanders. We got the Giants.
Oh, man.
Giants, Cowboys, Eagles. I know this is going to be one I'm like, what were you thinking, Carrie?
Yeah.
Michael Parsons. Nope.
It was Micah Parsons. Yes, it was.
Wait, really?
Yeah, 2021 AP.
He's only been in the league like, darn, I would have thought more.
Yeah, he's remember he's just on his second contract right now.
For some reason, like I felt like he'd been the year longer. Do you want to do one more?
Sure, and then you give me one.
Neil.
I'm gonna go even more recent. Do you want easy, medium, or hard?
How about medium? My second drink is Sweetwater Extra Pale Ale 420, the original.
You said medium?
Yeah, medium for this one.
Okay. Medium. This is a tough one.
Goodness, I'm on a bad trend of drinks tonight because this one's not great either.
All right, 2023
All right.
rushing touchdowns leader.
James Conner.
That is incorrect.
That would be cool if I got that first guess. All right.
That would have been cool.
AFC.
AFC is correct.
All right, one more free guess. Is he still an RB1 today?
I'm gonna say no. I don't know everybody's running back room, but I don't imagine he still is.
All right. All right. Patriots, Jets, Bills, the Dolphins, the Bengals. Steelers. For some reason, weird. This is not right. For some reason, I want to say Najee Harris.
It's not Najee Harris.
Yeah, I knew that was wrong, but I wanted to guess it for some reason. It's not the Raiders. No. All right, how about, is it the AFC South?
It is not the AFC South.
Is it the AFC North?
It is not the AFC North.
Is it the AFC East?
It is the AFC East.
All right. Means it was we got Patriots, Dolphins, Bills. All right, it wouldn't be James Cook is still RB1. He's been there about not long enough. Dolphins, Jets, Patriots. Brees Hall's probably been there long enough. He's still there RB1. So we're down to the Patriots and the Dolphins. Who is that? Oh, Mostert.
That's correct.
I forgot.
Raheem Mostert, 18 rushing touchdowns in
That
2023.
off.
Yeah. The two tied for second are Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts.
Darn. Yeah, I don't think he's in the NFL anymore, actually.
I don't like I said, I don't know everybody's running back room, so I wasn't sure.
I knew he's on the
But,
Raiders, but I think he got cut. I don't think he's around. All right, do you want medium, easy, or harder for yours?
Give me a medium. And I'll turn off my my Pro Football Reference.
All right. I'll go. This might be kind of a hard one, but I want to do it anyway.
Okay.
We'll see if it's hard or not. All right, 2019
Okay.
passing yard leader.
Can I get 3 questions?
3 free questions.
Okay, so the 2019,
Yep.
is this quarterback still a starter?
No.
Jameis Winston.
All right. Wow.
Give me another one.
Damn, he's good.
Give me another one.
All right. Are you better with older or newer ones, you think?
I've probably peaked in when we started the podcast. No, actually, that's a lie. I definitely peaked 2 years ago.
2 years ago. All right, we're gonna go 2017 receiving yards leader.
2018?
2017.
2017.
So 9 years ago.
So we're talking my sophomore year of college. Because I graduated in 2016. So 2016 fall would have been my freshman year. 2017 fall would have been my sophomore year. Okay.
We were young back then.
Yeah. Not legally drinking.
We would never do that. Never.
Let's see. Pre-pod. Trying to think of good wide receivers back then. I'm just going to say, is it AFC?
You got 3 good guesses. So, yes, AFC.
AFC. Okay. Let's
right.
go 2017 AFC. Wow. This is tough. AFC.
Remember you had 2 free ones.
West?
No.
Oh.
1 more free one.
AFC South?
Nope. All right, so everything else, drink for each one.
Okay, I'm just going to talk out loud for a little bit. I'll tell you when I'm asking my question. So
Sounds good.
I'm trying to think. So I said AFC South and AFC West. So it's AFC North or AFC East. AFC North 2017. That was pre Jamar Chase. It had to be.
Yeah.
Pre Joe Burrow, pre all that. So AFC North had the Ravens. That was Joe Flacco era.
I mean, I'll just give you kind of a hint. Like, of the top 10 receivers of like in this thing, I think there's like 2 that are still playing.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Yeah.
This is Joe Flacco era. We're talking Big Ben era, 2017. Is it Antonio Brown?
You're good at this, man. Well, guess Zach's the winner of this one tonight.
Let's go. I don't think I drank once during that.
Yeah. Props to you, man. Darn. Round of applause for this man. Good job.
Knowledge.
That was fun, though. We'll have to bring that game back.
100%.
I liked it.
100%. All
right. Main segment.
We're going to talk about offseason. Who's had the best offseason so far? We're going to give 3 great off seasons and 3 really poor off seasons, and kind of break down what we see in each team and all that stuff. So, Kerry, why don't you kick us off with your number 3 worst?
Yeah,
I want to start with the worst. We're going to end on a positive note tonight.
Let's do it. I was trying to like pick up the move so I can talk little specifics. All right. This team had a very, there wasn't a lot of teams that would say had an awful offseason, but just kind of stayed the ground. There's a lot of teams I'm not going to bring up Packers, Patriots, kind of just did their thing, didn't really get much better, but didn't get worse at the same time. But this was a team that really was not that good last year, and they didn't really do a whole lot to get better. I'm talking one of Zach's regional team, the Atlanta Falcons. Some of their biggest moves, adding Tua, and then he added a bunch of random guys like Jahan Dotson, Austin Hooper. I did like Zachariah Branch in the 3rd round, and they had AJ Terrell's brother, Avion Terrell, in the 1st round.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing that really. This was I forget what they finished last year. 7-10 maybe was the record last year.
Right. Or 8-9 or something like that.
They brought back Kyle Pitts. They still have Bijan talent on offense, but nothing that really is going to scare you about this team next year. And I think this team needs a lot more built around, especially the defense. James Pierce is obviously going to be suspended for not sure how long, but a decent amount of time this year. And just kind of a mediocre offense. Again, nothing awful they did. I thought their draft was fine. A couple of these moves were decent, but just nothing enough that's going to take them to win the NFC South this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had Atlanta Falcons on my list too, so I'm just going to kind of echo some of the things that you're saying. I really think the biggest glaring thing about the offseason for the Atlanta Falcons is that and we'll talk, I know I'm going to bring up a couple of the other teams in their division a little bit later, but it's just how much better everyone else's offseason was in their division. It just seems like this is a team kind of without direction right now. They don't really have an identity. It's tough to see where they want to go. And, having Michael Penix, who struggled a lot last year in a year that was supposed to be kind of his breakout year, and bringing in Tua as another guy to compete for the starting job, it's just a little bit confusing to see where this team's headed, especially with the team with some pretty talented young players on the roster. Obviously, you have Bijan Robinson, but you also have Drake London there. So, I mean, it's a team that has some weapons, but the issue has been how do we utilize those weapons and how do we turn this team that has been kind of preseason favorites to win the division for the better part of 5 or 6 years since Brady retired to actually doing it. Mm-hmm. And they seem kind of directionless right now.
there's just nothing to like put them over the top that they did. Like they may tread ground, but it's nothing that's going to beat the Bucks or the Panthers or any of the other teams.
Yeah, and that's why like I think we haven't done. I don't know if we haven't done preseason rankings yet for each division.
No, not yet.
But like I think when we get to that point, that's why I have them finishing bottom of the division. I think I saw growth from the Saints. I saw growth from the Panthers. I see the Bucks getting better, and I just don't see the same thing out of the Atlanta Falcons. And especially with them hanging on to their head coach for another run at it with Raheem Morris, who I don't think is a very good head coach. I think he's probably a pretty talented coordinator, but I don't think he's a very good head coach. And I think this team's kind of stuck in the mud.
It's kind of funny, like two of the coaches that most people thought should have got moved on from were both in the same division, and Todd Bowles and Raheem Morris. Like, both kind of treading water there in their teams, but they both got another year out of it.
Yeah, I think
we'll see if
Todd Bowles, if he wins the division, I think he survives another year. But like, if he has another collapse like he did last season, he's done. I can't believe that they hung on to him after that collapse last year.
For sure. And like again, I'll talk about the Panthers a little bit. Panthers looking better this year. The Saints, I think, should be competitive. So this is going to be a competitive division this year. I don't think it's all up to the Bucks like it has been.
I agree.
All right, Zach, what you got?
My next one.
Oh, you did the Falcons, I guess.
I did have the Falcons. I'll go ahead and name my next one now. My next one, it hurts me to say this. It really does.
Wow. We're going to be close, aren't we?
I think the Jaguars are my next one. And it's not because they made any absurdly bad moves. They didn't like crazy overpay for anyone. The fact is they just didn't do a lot. And so when you're talking about like, how do you grade an offseason where a team doesn't really do anything? It's really tough. Like they could feel like they're in a pretty good spot right now, and so they don't feel like they have to make moves. But I mean, they didn't make a move to replace Devin Lloyd. That was pretty disappointing, either in free agency or in the draft. We did not get an outside linebacker that could cover the field like Devin Lloyd can. So I think that's probably going to hurt the defense. You move on into 2026 without a clear-cut RB1. Maybe they're deciding to go running back by committee, and that has worked before, but it also has blown up in some teams' faces. So, you think like 4 years ago, the Buffalo Bills, without a clear-cut RB1, it was clear issue for their offense. So I think, as much as I love the Jaguars, and much as I root for them, as much as, I don't think it was an awful offseason. Like we didn't crazy overpay for anyone like we have in years past. I also think that, we held on to some contracts that I feel like we should have found a way to move on from. And we didn't do a lot in the draft that really, shined. And we also didn't do anything in free agency basically to keep guys or get guys back that, were a big part of the team that almost that won 13 games last year, which is a huge thing for the Jaguars fan base.
For sure. I'll go off of that. I also have the Jaguars as one of my worst off seasons, and you're right. They just didn't do anything. It just shows they have faith in the squad last year that went, 13 games, did well, made the playoffs, that they think they're going to be back next year and do just the same. But
yeah,
I wouldn't say they got better at anywhere. I mean, they like running back losing ETN, replacing him with Rodriguez and Amir Abdullah. Upgrading at blocking tight end. I would say obviously their biggest move is getting Travis Hunter back healthy. Mm-hmm. But there's a team that used their roster last year is ready to go. And I mean, a lot of these teams, like I've said, the Packers, a couple of others off the top of my head, Patriots, but like that just kind of happy with their squad last year, didn't make too many moves and just going back at it, which if you have faith in your squad, that's the way to go. But
yeah. I
think
think the biggest question mark for the Jaguars is going to be who's going to take the place of Devin Lloyd on that defense, because he was such a big part of what the Jaguars did last year defensively. I mean, it's really hard to find a linebacker that can, tackle the run and cover the field at the same time. It's really tough to find a guy like that. I don't know if maybe I know Foye is the heart and soul of that defense. That's why he plays in the middle. But like maybe you move Foye outside because he has the ability to do that. I don't know. So, but I mean, obviously they have faith in their roster. They didn't want to make any major changes. But like, there's a couple contracts on the books that are just kind of killing the team's cap. Like, I don't know. Could you not found a way to move Armstead, even if it wasn't for the price you wanted? Could you not have found a way to move him? Could you not have found a way to move Walker Little for peanuts?
I think it hurt for him. Isn't Van Lanen hurt? I think, or he might not be ready for week 1. So that's why they wanted to keep Little. I think I saw that.
Maybe
that they wanted to have depth at left tackle just in case. But one other honorable mention, since we had a couple similar ones, Buffalo Bills were kind of in that same range. You know, people thought they would go farther last year. They really haven't done too much this offseason. You know, I wasn't really a fan of the DJ Moore trade when they gave up a lot for that. When like Michael Pittman was traded for peanuts. They had a fine draft, but again, like not really going in all out. I feel like there was just a lot of teams this offseason that kind of just kept status quo, didn't really go after many big changes or anything.
Yeah. So it looks like Van Lanen's injury might have been an ACL tear.
That's what I thought I saw. Like that.
He's expecting his on-field work during spring to focus on rehab. General Manager Clint James Gladstone stated that the recovery is going well, but it is considered a long-term injury. So maybe that's the reason. But like,
because Little's like good enough to be like a swing tackle, like step in for a few weeks.
Yeah, I think for the price, I don't know if he's worth it. Could you have gotten like a 6th-round pick out of him?
I would assume probably next year they would move on from him if Van Lanen is once he gets.
But it's just such a big contract to get stuck with. I mean, It's really, really rough. So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents, you know.
As a Jags fan, all right. Who's your last worst team?
My last worst team.
I have mine if you're not ready.
Go ahead and name yours.
All right, my last one was the Minnesota Vikings. I think we talked about this in our draft episode. I was not really a fan of Caleb Banks that early for a guy that has struggled to stay healthy his whole career. They needed help at defensive tackle. It was a bit early for him. I know a lot of people thought they were going to go Dylan Heineman at their pick to improve safety. I'm not sure if Harrison Smith's going to come back. But, you know, they've made a lot of moves in defense. They released Jonathan Allen, Jalen Hargrave, traded Jonathan Grenard. But they kind of just maintained status quo, you know. I might get some hate for this, but I feel like they're better off starting J.J. McCarthy. This is not a good enough roster. Kyler Murray is a much better quarterback than J.J. McCarthy, but this is not a good enough team around him that this team is going to be Super Bowl contender, even win a playoff game. Like at best with Kyler Murray, maybe go 10-7, get a wild card, something like that. But then you're kind of just stuck in QB purgatory. As Murray's a free agent, so you either try to bring him back or at least go somewhere else. With McCarthy, he's either terrible, and then next year you draft a first-round quarterback, or he's decent, and then you build around him. But it's kind of like you're in that mid-tier right now. They don't really know what there are, and they made a lot of interesting picks. You know, they took Caleb Tiernan, who's a good tackle, but like they're kind of set on tackle. The interior of their O-line's been an issue, but Brian Flores is going to obviously have a good defense. I did like the Jajuan, which is one of the most recent NFL news we've had, Jajuan Jennings to Vikings. That's a really good wide receiver trio right there with Jefferson, Addison, and Jennings. But I just don't really see a huge ceiling for this team this year. And
hello?
I guess Vikings fans just got mad at me. They're like, they would slander my team. I'm sorry, man.
JJ McCarthy's the truth.
I guess. But yeah, I don't know how you feel the same boat.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the team I've got last is I think it's in a much worse situation than Minnesota, because at least with Minnesota, you can say that like, okay, there's some pieces there. Like I see kind of the direction they're going in. JJ McCarthy obviously in a make it break it year, but you're 100% right. This team isn't close to being a contender in a very difficult division where you have the Lions coming off of a down year. Obviously, they're going to want to bounce back hard. You have the Chicago Bears, who played exceptional last year and shocked me. And then obviously the Green Bay Packers, who are just kind of steady Eddie with a mid quarterback. So I mean, like when you're looking at this team in relation to the rest of its division, it's kind of the same way I see the Falcons. I just don't see a way out.
And you kind of look at like building pieces for this team. There really isn't like an older running back, older tight end, Jefferson obviously, but like how long is he going to want to play there with no talent quarterback? Like the defense there's not too many young stars. It's kind of a middle tier team,
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of the thought I had when they ended up getting rid of Darnold and signing McCarthy was, when you got it's hard to break up with something when you got a good thing going, and they decided to do that, which is a bold choice. I think that they still have a great coach. I think that they're still going to be around 500, but in the league today, 500 doesn't get it done. So, and I think you're really going to see a lot of pressure put on JJ McCarthy this year to perform, because his NFL dreams might be coming to an end. Because here's the thing. When you see a guy make it work with so many different quarterbacks and it's not working with you, I think the problem is the quarterback. It's not the coach.
And even not even talent wise, the guy has shown he cannot stay healthy. He's not built to be an NFL quarterback with how little he can stay on the field.
Yeah.
Like if he had been able to stay on the field for the last 2 years, we might see a different JJ McCarthy. But he's missed so much time that it screwed up his development. That
has he even played 17 games in the NFL?
No, he's played like 8, I think.
That's crazy. That.
But poor JJ.
Yeah, poor JJ. My last team is a team that I think is in a much worse spot. I think they might be in the worst spot in the NFL. My team's the Miami Dolphins. I get that they made some good, like getting some guys in the draft. Like that's awesome. Obviously, who was it they picked up? Caleb Downs in the draft. Great defensive player, especially for a team that's kind of been.
What'd you say? At the Dolphins?
Did he not?
He went to the Cowboys.
Oh.
Zacky's an AI out here. I can't even remember who the Dolphins got.
Who did the Dolphins get in the draft? Oh no, they passed on him. That's right.
Yeah,
they passed on.
They took Caden Proctor and Chris Johnson, who a lot of people question about Caden Proctor and his whether he's going to be a good NFL fit.
But I mean, like this is just a team where like, oh, we're going to go out and get a quarterback, and
give him nothing.
So here's the problem right now that Miami's in. I think that they actually do. I think Malik Willis is a quarterback that you can win with. He's not going to be a quarterback that you're going to win because of, but he's definitely a quarterback you can win with. Now, because here's the thing. We saw Green Bay do it. We know that you can win with Malik Willis. The problem is Green Bay's talent roster is actually pretty talented. They've got a good run game. They've got number 2 receivers. They've got 9 of them. Right now, the only maybe number 2 guy on the Miami roster is Malik Washington, and that's borderline. Who is he supposed to throw the ball to? You got Devon Achane out of the backfield.
I do like Greg Dulcich, who I talked about years ago. I feel like he's going to have I would buy low on him.
There are so many people that are like, Greg Dulcich.
He was
pans
decent.
out, dude.
He was decent in the second half last year, fantasy wise.
He never pans out, dude. He's never gonna have a full, complete year.
He was good
I'm
in the
sorry.
second half. We'll see.
I'm sorry, but like it's one of those like this team is in such a bad spot. You just had a division rival go to the Super Bowl and get waxed. You play in the same division as the Buffalo Bills. Luckily, eyes get taken off of you because you're in the division with the Jets.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
like, if the Jets didn't exist, people would be talking about Miami all the time about how terrible this roster is and how terrible of an organization it is because they haven't done anything in like 30 years. They haven't done anything.
It's kind of crazy. Like, for a team to not win a playoff game, I think it was like 2000 the last time they won a playoff game.
Yeah. I mean, they're in a really bad spot. I don't know what direction they're headed in. Obviously, new head coach in the building. Do they also have a new GM?
Yeah. And like,
A
I mean,
new GM, new head coach. So
13
I think,
draft picks too. Like,
yeah, I
basically a
think
whole new roster.
I think it's going to take at least another year to kind of figure out what direction they're trying to go in. But like, this is a team that I am not exaggerating when I say this has zero shot of being competitive this year. I mean, it's going to be a look like the Jets. That's what it's going to look like. There's not much to be excited about if you're a Miami fan. Sorry, Nando. I know, one of the boys.
We even
friend
had
of the
that guy.
show.
We need to bring him back. We even had him on forever.
Do need to bring him back. He's probably depressed.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at up and down this roster. I just don't see a lot. Like, Greg Dulcich is fine. Malik Washington.
At least they kept
okay.
Achane. They could have
did
done a lot for
keep
Achane. Their line should be decent this year. We'll see. The
But
defense.
at the end of the day, you gotta have guys to throw the ball to. Like at least one guy.
I think I saw that people think they're really going to be run heavy this year. Which I mean, even with Willis last year, you saw they're really run heavy with him. They did not like. It's not like Willis was throwing the ball 30 times a game.
No, that's true. That's true.
So
And maybe that's where they're deciding to go with it. But at the end of the day, if people start stacking the box and you got Malik Washington out there running routes, I mean, what are you going to do?
There's no one that scares you.
Yeah, exactly.
Out there at all.
I mean, Malik Washington is a decent wide receiver, but like,
I'm
not terrified of him.
He's a wide receiver 3.
He could be a wide receiver.
Maybe a wide receiver 2. Like, and then I think they drafted if you like Caleb Douglas from Texas Tech. I talked about Chris Bell early, but he's not going to be ready for next year. I mean, there's a lot of veterans out there, but it's like I don't think Stephon Diggs or Tyreek Hill's not coming back. Like, it's really just giving me a rebuilding year for Miami, which they've needed for a while. So, but we'll see.
They have needed it for a while.
How about positives, Zach?
Positives. Okay, we'll go positives. Who you got first?
I had quick honorable mentions. 3 teams weren't in my top 3, but I'll shout out Cleveland Browns, Dallas Cowboys, and the Raiders. All made some moves I like. Not my top 3, but good off seasons for those teams. I'll go the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, that was
one. Little talk about this team lately, but they have had a huge change on their defense. Obviously, the huge Dexter Lawrence trade. They got Bowie Maffey, Jonathan Allen, Brian Cook. Like, this defense has been bad, if not awful, for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
They have changed so much. They lost Trey Hendrickson. They've done a lot. They also had a really good draft. I think Connor Lew is actually the best center of the draft. They got him the 4th round from injuries. I really think if this defense can be middle tier, somewhere in that range, the line can hold up. You got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and you're looking at this team being a contender in the AFC again. Obviously, there's a lot of young talent on the defense that needs to step up, whether it's Shamar Stewart from last year, but
yeah,
some great moves, and I really like how the Bengals are heading. It looks good on paper. We'll see how it turns out, but I like how it's going so far.
Yeah. I think my first pick, we talked about this division earlier. I just think that this team is just kind of just vibes wise, I feel this team is rising fast, and that's the New Orleans Saints.
Like it.
I I really like what they decided to do this year, and that is put talent around a quarterback that has shown he can win. Tyler Shuff played incredible last year.
With
If he would have
Nelson
been
around,
starting
too.
from week one, they're in the playoffs.
And like you look,
I
you're
mean-
showing the nobodies too.
Exactly. They go out, they pick up Travis Etienne in free agency, who I assume, given the kind of running backs that they've had in the past, is going to be a pass catching running back where he specializes. Olave is coming back. They upgrade left guard by bringing in David Edwards.
And also, like, Kamara's been down last couple of years, but it sounds like he'll be back this year with Etienne getting most of the touches. Kamara's limiting his touches. He might be better off, if you're not forcing him 25 touches.
Forcing him the ball 20 touches a game, yeah.
And no Taysom weird. You're not going to have weird Taysom Hill like 6 plays every game.
Yeah.
Now he's gone.
They also picked up Jordan Tyson, who's an excellent wide receiver prospect. And so, like, they put talent around a young quarterback that can win. I use young in quotations because I think he's like 26 or 27 now in his sophomore season. But, like, this is a team that I feel has direction and knows what they want to become. And so that is why I feel like, okay, the Saints had a great offseason because they addressed some issues. They have an aging Alvin Kamara. They have an issue at left guard. They have a weakness at wide receiver. They went out and they addressed issues, and their team is going to be better because of it. And a team that was in the hunt to potentially win the division last year got a lot better. And I think the reason why I'm so high on the Saints right now is because I think you could make a legitimate case that Tyler Shuff is the best quarterback in the division at the end of the year last year.
Yeah.
Because Baker was not playing well. Bryce Young was at his best good. But, I mean, Tyler Shuff at his best was amazing. So I'm really excited for the Saints this year. I think that they have I think that they're on the right track. I think that I'd probably put the odds at probably 55% that they win the division. I think that, obviously they're going to have to struggle against the Panthers, and I think the Bucs are going to be coming back. Hopefully they can stay healthy this year. But that's going to be a tough divisional fight. We don't have to talk about the Falcons. They're not going to be in contention. So
that's true. All right. I'll pick it up with the NFC South also. I know me and Zach, I think it was our draft. No, it was free agency that me and Zach both said we liked for this team. Also in the NFC South. They added Jalen Phillips, Devin Lloyd.
Yep.
Really have helped their defense. They had a decent draft. Monroe Freeling, tackle the future.
Mm-hmm.
Had a couple of good other moves. Sam Hecht is their potential center of the future. He was late too, but really good offseason. The Panthers. The one thing I would say on them, they didn't really add too much at wide receiver, tight end. That's kind of an issue with them recently. Chris Brazzell, a wide receiver from Tennessee, they added. But I know a lot of people marked up and taking a tight end like Sadiq something, but really it built around. They should have a decent line, very good defense. It's really just going to be up to Bryce Young whether he can take that step forward this year. But I really think they made the playoffs last year. Panthers in a division that's, like we talked about, pretty much up for grabs. I think Panthers and the Saints might be the ones like running division this year. I was torn between the Panthers and the Saints for in my top 3, but both of them had a really good offseason. So
yeah,
I like both of them.
Yeah, I really liked your pick of the Bengals as well. I thought that they had a really great offseason. As much as I don't like it because I have a friend at work who's a Bengals fan, and I always like to crap on him. So, well, it's hard for me to talk about this team having a good offseason just because I don't like them. But they had a good offseason. And I think that this team is going to be better this year. And it's because of dumb decisions by other teams that this is going to be the case. But I think the Dallas Cowboys had a really good offseason.
Yeah, they've really remade that defense.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, Quinton Williams, Kenny Clark, Donovan Ezraku, and then you get Caleb Downs somehow. I mean, this is a team that could be very dangerous. And the fact that they were able to retain George Pickens and Javonte Williams on what was probably one of the best offenses in the NFL last year, if they can have a mediocre defense, I think that, at least the NFC East is there for the taking. Because I think it's pretty easy to see that the Eagles are kind of on the decline right now.
For sure, yeah.
So, and the Commanders kind of seem, I don't know, hopeless, but directionless.
Their roster is terrible.
Yeah.
If you've ever looked at the Commanders roster, there is not a lot of talent at skill players positions. The line is okay. The defense is not great. It's especially with Jaden Daniels not staying healthy.
And then with the Giants, it's tough to tell what they're going to be with a new head coach and a new GM. Or did they keep Joe Shane? I think it's new GM too.
Yeah, he's still there.
Joe Shane survived.
He survived.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, with a new head coach, it's tough to tell what they're going to be yet. Obviously, Harbaugh has quite the pedigree, but, I mean, tough to tell what they're going to be. To me, I'm looking at this division as Cowboys versus Eagles, and right now I think Cowboys had a much better offseason, are on the come-up, and I think the Eagles are still going to be fine, but I think that, I mean, you saw it last year, they're really quick decline in play and consistency. Seemingly over the course of 1 year was kind of incredible to see. So
for sure. All right, and my last one, kind of Zach just brought him up. I got the New York Giants. I absolutely love their draft. I would say they probably got the best defensive player in the draft in Arbel Reese. They probably get the best lineman in the draft in Francis Mauga. They got a solid cornerback in Colton Hood. And, John Harbaugh is a very good coach. A lot of people are not happy with him in Baltimore, but a good bring-in. He brought a lot of his guys with him, whether it's Pat Ricard, whether it's Isaiah Likely. A lot of smaller moves I think they made. I really, they showed a lot of promise last year, especially when Dart came on, Scadaboo started giving them that swagger. And between that, all the moves they made this offseason, I could see the Giants, sneaking in there as a wild card this year. I think they're going to have a good team. I think Harbaugh is really going to bring in that chemistry change for that team. And I really like of all the moves they made this offseason.
Okay. I just want to, for reference, none of these are in any particular order.
Mine isn't either.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to rank my next one, the number one offseason. Because I actually think the other two are better than this one. I just like this one personally, and I think that this team could be better. But you're gonna figure out pretty quick why I'm not sure that they will. And we're gonna talk about the Los Angeles Chargers, who honestly, when you count in the fact that, every single player on their roster was in crutches by the end of last year, had a pretty good 2025 season. It's one of those things where it's like you can't, it's impossible to have enough depth to cover for that. You kind of saw the same thing with the San Francisco 49ers last year. You can't cover up that much injury. You know what I mean? So theoretically, just like for the past 4 or 5 years, theoretically, they're getting Slater and Alt back because, they're going to heal from their injuries. And it was probably their injuries were probably put back together with bubblegum and toothpicks. But, they did sign Tyler Biadasz. And, Jake Slaughter potentially competing for the spot at guard.
I did not like that pick for a guy that's never played guard in his life.
Yeah.
They could have taken one earlier.
Yeah, I agree. But I also think it helps out. They lose Odafe away in free agency to the Commanders, getting Akeem Mesidor, who, size and skill wise looks like a really great NFL fit at the pass rusher spot. Could help them fill that hole. I think Akeem Mesidor is a great pass rusher, so I think he'll pan out well for him. But the real question with the Chargers is always going to be, why can't they stay healthy? Ever.
They don't have an electronic substation with them like the Niners.
Yeah, the Niners have the substation. Wait, do we actually know that? Maybe the substation is next to them. Let me look. Electrical substation. What's it called? No, they're in Los Angeles. Well, they can't. Do they play in the same building as, or do they can't practice in the same facility as the Rams, right? I know they play in the same building.
I wouldn't think so. I would think they had a separate.
Los Angeles Chargers practice facility address. Okay, then we're gonna go on maps. This is how we do it. This is how you figure it out. What? I thought you just told me where it was. The Bolt. The Bolt is what it's called. The Bolt. Listen, this is investigative journalism at the highest degree, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Google Maps sucks. I hate this thing.
No Google Maps slander on the podcast, Zach.
Tour the new Chargers state-of-the-art facility. Is this not a public address? How is this not a public address? It's gotta be. El Segundo, California. Oh, they got 3 natural grass practice fields. MapQuest. I can MapQuest it. There you go.
I think Herbert. Did you see the music video with Herbert in it?
No.
With Madison Beer, he's way too focused not on football.
Maybe it's the fact that they're called the Bolt. Maybe that's the issue. Because that's kind of like an electricity thing. You ever think about that?
I do every night of the week, every Thursday, every Friday, every Saturday. Sometimes
It also could be a problem that it's located directly next to a Topgolf.
Those top golf radiation waves. Giving it off.
Topgolf. No, I think the players are taking the afternoon off, going to Topgolf and hitting balls.
It might make sense.
All I see is a vegetarian restaurant, a bar, a Topgolf, and a dental office.
Coincidence? I think
Coincidence? Why do they all look like they have nice teeth?
That was a good question. Or maybe it's the fact that the Chargers don't address their interior line. But that's nonsense.
Hello, Terry Walker from San Angelo, Texas.
How was your Tuesday night, Terry Walker?
You know what's crazy, Kerry? I don't know the last time I've drank 2 beers.
You haven't on Beer League
Probably 3 weeks ago.
Since the party episode?
Probably since the party episode.
Party episode. Good times.
I think I had mead.
I think you did. You're right. So we're kind of too far. We're still 4 months away from football season. It's kind of sad.
I know, dude. That's why my name tonight is Manja Manja. Give me the shit. You know what I'm saying?
I know we were supposed to cover I can't remember what league it was, the UFL, whatever it's called now.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
We failed.
James Robinson is going off though. I kind of want the Jags to sign him.
I keep seeing there's teams keep trading quarterbacks every week. I'm like, wow, a league that'd be interesting to have in the NFL. Like Justin Herbert traded for Jordan Love. Just every
That'd
week,
be a nuts trade.
it'd be interesting, but yeah. Hopefully we'll get the season soon. I don't got much else for tonight.
I think that's all I got for tonight as well. I want to thank everyone who tuned in for tuning in to this episode. Back again in 2 weeks, maybe with our third chair.
Maybe if he tries to show up, we'll see.
We'll see. Again, thank you for watching and listening. If you're doing that on YouTube or other audio platforms, we appreciate it. Also on Twitter.
That is
on X. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Talk more NFL offseason action news, everything. Maybe Carrie's dream, the Mike Vrabel sex tape, will drop by then.
It's all that matters in life. Can't wait to not see that. Mike Vrabel's big old cheeks be clapping.
Oh, his cheeks are clapping. Is that what you're hoping for?
Maybe.
Maybe he's one of those guys that hires the dominatrix. He's he likes getting pegged like Trevor.
You never know, man. I mean, Patriots head coaches get up to some weird stuff, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Very, very true. All right. Well, we will see you guys next time. Until then.